Da kashi jinghe la ngai speech de kamachi nis mashira gomer. Inji tola na short and sweet la jira da diringa ji speech de kokap. Share ani kama chuchongas gorsar ani ta number so le shiri zero na la she. Las ani ta diringa izrim chuni tarsumbi zegola chipim nawe. Abang Rinpoche and the Tribal Rinpoche Cho Tsubi Jamni Gendenchi Deda Columbia Heights Mayor Amara Marquez Simula Ta Shangari Chutu Tenzi Jimela Tsubi Junda Junde Mayan Be Tsode Kaki Genzin Ta Sani Minnesota Petitionton Tsobi Tsoto Tsoshion Tsubi Julian number J Gundrun Yola Zashin Tsewe Tony Tsamritash Tele Shujuyen Delo Jaka Ninji Ranzu, Pancho Cherezi, Me number Rowa, Konsa Chamge, Jawa Kontin Chisipacham, Cho, Guna Guchula Pebi, Gaten Tenjeta, Kutse Shape Tenchi, Tuji Jegon Tada Jubi, Mendushu. Tering Kasu Papa, Ngaram Zirum Chuni Tarsuni, Dincha Detoni, Kecha Shebi, Kokap Shua, Teya, So Pamaniji, Tutsewa Chimbu. Kajenji Sojong Kaluk Lamdun Ta Tejan Gegen Namla Nambi Loptu Tinjil Lateni Shunwi Kajen Tujiche Shuju Yun Tsami Lusotar Lojong Shibi Jurumchi Parda Lensen Kachi Teru Loju Shipta Perishindun Sobi Tuncher Gele Namja Laji Sunchubi Chalo Jipa Mugupa Dorduna Zirum Lopchuni Honors Ki Lopsen Zirum Guni Chuni Na College Lobsem Zidan Zomri Semkan Ripa Jundan Chapsi Aridan Zamlin Ki Loju Long Zindra Guwani Chuni American Football Jitsemo Dena Loni Ji Captain the Tsabar Chibi Editor Teni Tamshe Gender Sona Shupi Nidonish Sasuna Pedon Kor Shiptashi Tibi Ari Jayoni Ang Tambo Best of Snow Award Ta Minnesota Gold Medallion Award Ra Chumdi Tedani So Pami Kajan Yamba Shu Maguba Re Nazo Jenshi Loma Tashimbi Lotu Tsami Kanechewe Genkur Shujula Soso Pami Kajan Maje Parta Pamanyam de Yopi Tu Sonam Chewi Tu Yamba Ngoshigu Pama Tsami Pujiji Chetu Kadu Da Miyu So Tambo Lukam Deton Lojon Yapo Shawa Cholam Mtsechipo Dejedan Demba Shi Chana Sambi Rewata Miu Melam So Yebani Pama Tama Shunsu Yembar She Maguba Re Anzo Tami Tinchen Pami Tilen Jajuni Chusho Jidenini Kajen Tunjere Nipa Pebikeda Yige Chudan Rijun Yarab Jezan Komshi Tenam Minyam Jinzen Nyamba Larso Tape Nanju Teni Sosu Lengen Yemba Shindo Kajemba Re Zamni Jada Yonzo Jingada Kamsun Chiji Jabo, Shinor Konsa Jangun, Jawan Kutin Jishiba Jumbo Choki, Galop Lamdun, Tuda Namba Tamchela, Maon Jenshi Tso, Peji Senza Yen Sumbar Jin, Pepi Zadun Jelaja Bito, Soso Nuba, Ta, Shinjun Lapabi, Shizoji, Shale Nanji Te, Kechambo Re. Tendrawi, Mrita Riju Sola, Samlo Zawani Mena, Dini Maon Bi Soso Mri Sarba Namla, Wotu Jinzin, Lamdun Sheju Pasho, Soso Marishigi, Jitting all up in Nidashi Re. Yana, Shivi Leka, changing Chungsum, Kana Naya, Zo Kulon Zambu, Sholung Chada, Shori Mepa, Danyam, Tambo Tasha, Nanjuni, Kajan Tunchere Shu, Kulon Zanganila Tembi, Jundeya, Tetar, Tapu Jansum, Shana Sansum, La Junjun, Nibar Yimpi, Temba Tubi Shani Chang. Chiketo, Deba Chungu Zamlaya, Menunyam the Nimasha, Meta Tamu Chikijang, Zapu Rutsam Sepa She, Chita, Jaya, Chiketo, Gawa Tamu Zamlaya, Mepenyam the Nimasha, Chi, Tikba Sabai, Nuchelum Jikowan Jur, Sumbatar, Te, Nibar the Tula Jabar Show. Sumba, Mara Ari Minnesota, Nidon Tula Jenny, Loshiji, Pejin Nante Latu Lamlutar, Lachisi Tujen. Kamsum Chiji Jabo, Zamni Shide Tepe, Konsa Lamin Namde, Jamgun Jayon, Bo Tamji Change Ziba Chamber Chota, Sanjan Haju Nimi, Unzin Trap Nawa, Jashi Tushi Ramoja, Chuchi Lodu Cho, pasacha koma tichen doje chanda upi rime tenze ji chichen mambu golong ji ji techen Taksham ujen sande lemba nuden doje yangzhi jeba ro ngunzun shun shilo nidong chu shidang awa ce chibdun nyin gongsa chamgun jayong bo tamji chenji ziba chenbo choki ari Wisconsin chipjir kap zimchun jakata ucha tsupu ji papa jayang ji zunga arapazi janlun tsani maung sensan lomnyer nangsho kalo lamten jela zung shilo nidong chu ji lo jabal nichen kala ninjal chembel ta ujen mendoling de chuju shilo nidong chubgu shida dunbi ce nishtabdun nyin ujen mendo samdeling de jabji kochen rumuji cho uju chengasol shilo nidong nishtaksum shida dunba na payu yangle shoto ringon tash chuling de jabji lama namka time ramjam rumuji dunni Taksham nuden doje kambumji wanglu kabab jidu tsamba nyensen rin zonang ze tedar kondu shubi loju shurum sola shibde chena nga dagar shiji lungba shila che lumbi koryu ji chimdang diji lamlu jizun shindu tar lobda droguba ni chajen re tewe to pejo lami yangse shi yinbi chani pebi kedang yige dilo nangchu tumo shinang ngondo jamdo semche ni chushe choga shanglen so kantar lama chila gobe yoden chatsang lobjong she goba le tuson tuzu la ngni jiden ne kabo re wenja nga pepi latal america la chewa thing thangbo re sewa tha lochun zirum thangbo ne tada juni par shimbi yanchen shi chete pepi lama serwa de changma shi re samji yo ba da nyenje da chapar sangyo ba zongji ba so mambu chiwa chilen sheji shitso changlam khala chuni thapar pedang pejin ba re dorna ngaran chengma sona sabi jinthala teni thangju mulu rumbuji top rawada chajen yobi ari longbala je jawani tsera mambu melam zangbu chamjar phama chuden che lama zangbu loma nangchu la theba yoza mayen par nangchu lobjon loma shipa jezo 통진 상례 소라 냠뇽 덴바 제와 가시다 레전드라 예치 자샤 자 유잉이 레메 텐데 로아 메바 튜치라 문테 파말렌조 슈위 까든라 테니 다다가 베비케다 이게 난슈소 셰발리 젠시예나 칼레 카보레 웬자 렌질라 예치비 나라마시기 양세레 대추수수 마송 발 민든 충바시 슈나 삼비 semshu macha betone kale mambo jabare loju rere ne shuna chaji mare khandar nin thapa ne karen jetam jawe ringthong chembo re khonshu tar khonsa changgo rmoche chota rimela chen nam be thuche da melam phamani chi renden tar nanchu lomne thar shinde nge maung be minden chumbashi zamling dela shide chamthun khoryu sunjo chuda riju gondru nyalen so tindu da thuchu tumba shi tabe tubi rawada melan chenbo ye 대전 대린 페비 메마 용다 자동 들라 지바보 참미 대루 멜람 나로 대니 두지체 시구바 카시에 다 두지체 망보레도 아니다 라바다야 데서 타마타마라 샤나 파젤라사 산이 지도 충골 건지 라다 신셰담바 겐겐드니 라마 예도 아마르모체 쯔비 겐즌 림페 용니 nga thasang chi bi deshi ji sharo lamde kantup nawa tuji che shu deje sane de la jubi ni nyeri chaser genjen parsum ji nga la miul chuda rini ji jabjon thoni maung bi mrab jimi sonsal losem chidu dan jewe changmi gugur dan jabjon nawa tuji che shu chilo ni don chupsi changa ni gonzu te lobji kunsin reza pemba da nima nyenni teya shiwi zerum ta jeyan zerum kache metse nyentar gegen thana ni re ye pare rezabemba shopala John Gross ki tserik ta computer lobchit gomo gen lozan doje la ji thai da leshe namtar so chetit reza nima shoba ke Thomas inge thoni nanchu lobchit gomo gen tele wese la ne yizu da jarab chembe lobchit gen la number je lochu we la gegen je lobchit na wa hin tha pa ne thuji che shu Nidon chudu sane Minnesota hanju ni matasha naden chuso gonje kap chendong tang ji kunrun zo Senator Amy Klobuchar Senator Carolyn Lane da Mayor Gary Peterson pemnang 추초 곤제니 다다par genkur julen number tujiche shu Ido Nishtabshi Checker Nin, Senator Amy Klobuchar, Tasha Nadin Chuzola, Tasham to good day, she, Sunsheta, Japchor, Jamni, Shadinanke, Sunny Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz, Subi, Choncher, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Richfield, Mayor Number Ta, Senator Ilhan Omar, Senator Al Franken, Senator Tina Smith, Senator Betty McCollum, Tujiche Shu. Then Nala, Sharon Nanke, Jime Uje Lala, Tujiche Shu. Tade. Konsa Changu Chimbo Cho, Zubi, Tenzi, Chichen Tamanam, Gutse Shabe Tenji, Rajan Tenyon Hunjubi, Remen Shuta, Terenki Zegor, Kodinanke, Zo Pamanita, Tasha Nadin Chuzoji, Julen Nabata, Perishinton Sobe Tuncher, Gelen Namjal Ta, SFT Julet Zende Ujian La, Chime Emen, DJ Lobza, Punche Jaya, Terenki Zegor Dir, Jasho da Sharonanke, Tamala Nintabane, Tujiche Shu, Dash Dele. Touch delay. First, I would like to pay homage to His Holiness, the Great 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet, the human manifestation of Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha of compassion, who turns 90 this year and has dedicated the entirety of his life for the benefit of others. I sincerely pray for his continued long life, steadfast health, and the ever-increasing successes of his boundless Dharma activities, that they may bring lasting benefit to all sentient beings. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Venerable Amon Rinpoche, Venerable Trubha Rinpoche, and the entire Sangha, Columbia Heights Mayor Amada Marquez Simula, the North American representative of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile, Tenzin Jigme La, the President, Vice President, and members of Tibetan American Foundation of Minnesota, all other esteemed guests, and to everyone who has come here today. With much love and joy, I thank you for joining me on this occasion. This event here marks the end of my high school education, and it is through the unwavering, genuine, unconditional love and support from my parents that I find myself standing here today, able to speak with clarity and confidence. Alongside my remarkable parents, I am profoundly grateful to all the teachers who have guided me throughout the years and have offered me so much time, wisdom, and mentorship. I was a steady student who put in effort and maintained strong grades. I played 4 years of varsity football, elected as captain for 2, and in 2023, I was honored to receive the Best of Snow Award for the nation's top article and the Gold Medallion Award from Minnesota for my article based on Tibet. While these recognitions are important, they would not have been possible without the foundation laid by those who have supported me, especially my parents. We must never forget the great kindness of our parents, their hard work, the many sacrifices they made, and their deep hope for our health, education, and happiness. From the time we are born, they care for us with love and patience. For all of this, they deserve our lifelong respect, gratitude, and care in return. With the same respect, we must care for our culture. It is essential that we protect and keep alive the Tibetan language, our religious and spiritual traditions, and the values of good behavior. These are not just teachings from the past, they are responsibilities for each one of us today. His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet has reminded us that the younger Tibetan generation are the seeds of Tibet's future, and it is up for us to carry this precious legacy forward with strength and pride. While maintaining strength and pride, it's of utmost importance to act with pure intentions. The Lord Buddha taught, small misdeeds should not be ignored. A single spark can set a whole mountain ablaze. Likewise, a small act of virtue should not be overlooked, for drops of water can eventually fill a great vessel. With that thought in mind, let me return briefly to just a bit more about myself. I was born in 2006 and shortly after was recognized by His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama, along with the 5th throne holder of the Nyingma lineage, Chabji Tushi Rinpoche, the head of the Satya lineage, Chabji Satya Tenzin Ngawang Kunga, and other esteemed lamas as the reincarnation of Taksham Nidin Dorje, also known as Ujjain Samten Lingpa. In 2010, my family and I had a private audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Wisconsin. During this meeting, he performed the traditional hair-cutting ceremony and gave me the oral transmission of Manjushri's Arapatsa prayer. He also offered guidance and shared his thoughts on how my education should be approached in the years ahead. In 2011, our family made our first pilgrimage to Nepal and India, where I received vows at Ujjain Mindoling Monastery. In 2019, I was formally enthroned at Ujjain Mindol Santiling in Kalimpong, India, under the guidance of His Eminence Jabji Khoshen Rinpoche. During our third visit in 2023, I had the great fortune to receive precious teachings on the Taksham collected treasures from Chaji Lama Namkha Chime Ramjan Rinpoche over 3 days in Yanglangshan, Nepal. Being told I was the first Tibetan Lama to be born and raised in the United States shaped how many people viewed me from the very beginning. Many assumed I had already carried the Lama's identity through various media coverages and in outlets like the Associated Press, Star Tribune, and Washington Post, as well as filming a documentary with Morgan Freeman, placed me in a unique role from a young age. With the unwavering, immense love and support of my parents, I am where I am currently. Had it been anyone else without such a support system like mine, receiving Buddhist training would have been far more difficult. My parents prioritized my Buddhist education, and I fully believe that through lifetimes of accumulating great merit, I was gifted this precious human life in a land of freedom and opportunity, raised by devout parents, recognized by highly realized masters, and being born into such a great family. Therefore, as I move forward with the blessings and aspirations of His Holiness, the great 14th Dalai Lama, and the great masters from all different lineages of Tibetan Buddhism, and in accordance with the hopes of my parents and the support from everyone who has been there along the way, I hold a firm commitment to complete my future studies successfully. As I come to the close of this speech, there are a few individuals and communities I would like to thank personally. First and foremost, my heartfelt gratitude goes to the noble Sangha of the Gyute Wheel of Dharma, from the late Gen Gendu Kyesang to Gen Yido to the Venerable Awan Rinpoche, and to all the esteemed geshes and monks. They have supported me and guided me from a young age, treating me like one of their own, and for that I want to thank them. If my weekends weren't filled with other responsibilities, they were spent learning from 4 remarkable teachers. Since 2014, John Gross introduced me to science and computer studies. K. Thomas taught me Buddhism and English. Lobsang Dorje La guided me through Tibetan literature, and Chinle Wese La taught me Tibetan history and calligraphy. To all 4 who have devoted over a decade to my education, thank you. On my birthday in 2024, I was deeply honored to receive a video message from Senator Amy Klobuchar and a proclamation from Governor Tim Walz declaring it Taksham Tugu Day in the state of Minnesota. My sincere thanks also goes to Senator Ilhan Omar, Senator Al Franken, Senator Tina Smith, Congresswoman Betty McCollum, and the mayors of Minneapolis, St. Paul, Columbia Heights, and Richfield for their kind letters of support and recognition. In conclusion, I offer heartfelt prayers for the long life and flourishing activity of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and all the great lineage masters who uphold the Dharma, that their efforts may continue to benefit sentient beings all over the world. After concluding my monastic studies and with the boundless blessings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the great lineage masters who have lit the path before me, and with the unwavering love and aspirations of my parents, I'm committing myself to a long life journey of spreading peace, harmony, Tibetan religion and culture, meditation, environmental awareness, and any and all possible ways I can contribute to the world. I would also like to express my deepest gratitude to my parents and my family, and to the Nyingma Batashan Buddhist Center for coordinating this event and making it happen. Special thanks to Jigme Ujjain La for his continued support, TAFRM Secretary Gelet Namgyal, and SFT board member Zende Ujjain La for being a great MC, Chime Amen, who's filmed so many videos for me and my events, DJ Lobsang, and to everyone who had helped prepare, organize, lend a hand throughout the day, and to all who came to be part of this special occasion. Thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart.
Ani di jigi zirim de tri jalido je chuki lobata suinki jego da debitolia apurum buje choni sungshinai tushina.
Thank you for that. Now we have Abu Rinpoche coming for a speech.
Samala ane joshi dele tamil kunjoro shinda misegi tsenge keshemaso. Ane chedangi kecha de chi jana nyanga chimuni chozo jensi de inchi sona laro chirwa. 대린 잘리 르모체게 제단 대비게 내다 다 마음버긴 되나 또는 배미스게 아주 배바질는 거는 제시하나 배 내가 전부 쉬지 차도야 정에 통고요 아니 땅 아주 매지 임비찬에 계시셔야나 다 잘리 르모체게 다 미시텔라 너네 저는 가서기 수르진 하고 미시 정부 쉬지래 바 그 천천 다서는 가서 전세전에 대비가라 가서 가디에 다 최소는 내가 가는 데거나 그저 이따가랑 깔려져 통에게 매치래 너좀 상지야 말에 다 파만이라 대 그쇼게 장시래 대가라 안에 다 양윤이지 가든선에 파만이지 가든라 때네 다 벽에다 베이 돈을 통고여 말에 대가서 시즌 바 놀러라 대리 파만이 경가서 뒤 놀러라 빠바전에 강초에게 그쇼지sana 베지 차게요 대가서 강가에 셰거에 뺏게 좀 보이 벽에다 베이라 통고여 말에 베이도서 단는 알려 야와요 로비가 아니 라바도 단다 양윤이게 차기 지단도 빼면서 야본도 가르사는 저러존이 많다 받으신 저러존이 대탄사서나 슐로를 메기 멍시도부터 지반을 맞서는 지민도부터 차도기도 대제대 뱀시에 방신도도 비다 지샤창이도 그러와 대강라 저러존이 주지존이 퇴배 치고 말해 아니 뒤진도 그런 난초에 돈을 러정쟁에 열에 배기 돈에 열에 배기 돈에 아니 세된 쉬우지 차대요 다 가르치고 그래서는 뭐반에 다 자갈라 나초에 돈을 배거를 가슴에 그절을 점제 저라지바도 저 콜레지 가도고 해서나 아니 가서게 아니 남비토리를 하다는 로에서 라나 지기래 세능에 그저 가슴zel라이 뭐네 러고 그래 러 초그래 로 아니 그저 내내 파 진짜 제바 그반에 파 자가는 배에 그저 코로나에 마음 빈들랑 있단다 말이 민들랑 된달 강에 지어야 말인데라 저러존이 때 가져서나 바데히 시비는 소화제 초거래 대미바체 다 남비게 토리를 하다 첨부지는 로 남비게 따두기 돈을 허전지 제와 때 마음바 가르쳐 그러서는 게 가속이 초바지 제로와 니동 남주 로아 니동 다 제메세고로 단데 니시 상아래 다 니동 어쩔을 해비거라 가순디 노로라 배기 최단 리종당 난초기 돈노로라 내가 정해도 스차그래 데디컬 메데 수용사에서는 가서 신주지 제다로와 단다 신주지 제다 당문에 대이거라 하나 배제 가서 미니소다 노로라 최다 템바다 댄시 관계 차네 다 리치 관계 정해게 오늘 라마지 차그래 땡예바도 차고 그래 그저기 토산대 시고 그래서도 나 그저 비게 페베가라 가서 이제 메지게 지초가 상련다고 단단 파지 비지게 쇼지게 따두 부수 도버전에 로전데 자원이는 만나는 전고 영가이나 로와 당 가서 가르잖아 다건 쉬어서 이거네 야나 년중 상추세 양답에 따와서 이게 딘서라고지 라라기 용수도 셰바체 아니 가르잖아 뭐바기 그저기 쿠유지여로 그유기 쿠유당 전종 제사때 아니 맞서는 맞서는 나도 부터제기 사차대 전에요 말에 잠블링이 된자래 라바도 맞서 미니소라래 디가나 아리롬바노 되게 뭐바기 딜랑 던지질 미네 아니 그저 되는 피게 패대 맞서 그런 쪽에 라로지당 추소지당 아니 주루지 깨차的 메시와잖아 아니 배제바 오늘 배기 최다 레종 아니 라바도 잠블링이 된자고라 정으로지 손도에게 아니 도쇼니 된지 메지 오늘 차고를 되게 토산시에네 배거도 백개 정보 아니 라바도 제만은 되게 상상 가속이 롬바노를 취패이거라 단다 그저 공로 접지래도 접지 조고세인데 다니 그 니동 어쩌야말해도 그저 빼대 포사이 걸래도 아니 가서 되는 영에서 배제로 제체 된체 체비가라 sensu연나 제사스게 말 소소소 칼라라메라 요보라메라 이티세 칠해도로 다 디가라 그저 된지 공바시네 아니 단다 그저게 변이도 가르사 쥐네 년시 단다기 발로 그저 야마게 아니 가서 되는 올라 배도 보면 보게 된게 배제바당 제당게 미시당 관계 차네 레와져서 내 간제여서래서는 가서 신주 제대로 가서 뭐저 대선 신주 제거 나 나미치라마 신주 제다로 가서기 추던 region 때 가디바도 네토사래 소소 나게 파지 부지 되게 차와 양사소나 가세바도 가서기 신주 제토사래선 신주 제다 그저 이게 단단 뒤서 된지를 레베콜라 하나 배제 그저긴 게 치그르사도 대디가랑 가서 지tin 소반도 지신 거나 다 술을 간지 쉬고래 수기리지 간지 제거로 수인게 그거래서나 가서 신주지 제다로와 바 차도 법이긴 게 아니 그저런 버친래 여러여서네 대링에 오늘 가서 미네소타 중요 지오만이 배치바게 토너로라 그저래와 저거요 대링 비게 페베가라 인지 미지게 버그 사바나게 라니테 메제와체 디디서 코로야 말에 제 먹어와체 중요히 차네 로아 난초다 세리게 나비게 따두 가르레 세리 가르레스 아니 제마 코코딩 비가라 아니 멤버 다다 텐돌라 간데시에 고르 총바송라 가리시에 고르레선 단다 장으로 지게 바 장으로 뭐 쉬지 세당 진도아 된지게 세당 이거는 크다 차다 법바데 그조랑 예바데 레그레 로아 가서 저때 단달로 녀시 손절해be 가라 가서 저때 팬동에서 개말에 베드 메버찬도 가서 있는 단다 예be 가라 가서 차루루 넣지로아 다 정으로 지 공소 아니 원의 용예도 설라 신주제 자체지 때다 당문에 다 단다 가서 미네소타라 마웅반에 뒤서 된지라 순진주 제거서는 자체지 롱에나 내 자체 안 동버 그저 루거 로아 데네스 별로니 상하이지 손지지 근데 투상 자체부 쉬우지 시로지 그저 이게 멍반에 아좀 취 땜바 첼시 강게 차네 아니 뭐네 껍질라 베지 강가게 로담바지 차그래 근데 아니 공바 자체부 지시네 아니 베게라 페데 아니 된다 땜바다 아니 가서 강가게 내용에서 저저나 아니 하마도 말랑신실라 저저나로 지세 베지 근데 민도 뭐 양신에도 대세가는 줘야 말 아니 그 세리 너무 강가라 뭐네 두지치아 빼면서 야고쳤어 야야
Hello.
Thank you. Hello, good evening. And my name is, I'm the mayor of Columbia Heights. My name is Amada Marquez Simala. And I am so happy to be here this evening. It is such an honor to be here to celebrate an extraordinary milestone in the life of an exceptional young person, Jalu Dorji, also known to many of us as the 8th Churchen Taksham Rinpoche. And also, I would like to take a moment to wish His Holiness the Dalai Lama a happy 90th birthday. Jalu, your graduation from Columbia Heights High School is a proud moment, not just for you and your family, but for our entire city. You have spent these years growing into yourself, both as a scholar and as a spiritual leader. And you have shown us it's possible to carry deep tradition and wisdom while fully participating in the life of a regular American teen. You've played football and basketball, studied calligraphy, memorized sacred scriptures, and probably listened to more rap music than your teachers would expect from a reincarnated Lama. And yet, through it all, you've continued to walk your path with humility, joy, and purpose. As the first Tibetan Buddhist reincarnated born in the United States and right here in Columbia Heights, you carry a unique role in the world. But you carry it with quiet dignity and compassion. You represent the best of who we are, diverse, resilient, spiritually rich, and deeply rooted in community. A couple items of note. In 2016 and in 2024, the Columbia Heights City had proclamations for Terchen Taksham Day in Columbia Heights. Also, Jalu was present and a part of the interfaith breakfasts we had in Columbia Heights for many years. And he has just been interviewed for the new book about the Columbia Heights history and its future. So our city is better because of you. As you step into adulthood, I offer a wish and a blessing, not only as your mayor, but also as someone who deeply admires your journey. May your future be filled with peace, insight, and the support of those who love you. May your teachings continue to inspire others to live with compassion and courage. And may your life be long, joyful, and grounded in the balance between wisdom and play, faith and curiosity, tradition and growth. So on behalf of the City of Columbia Heights, congratulations, Turchin. Congratulations, Jalu. We are so proud of you and so blessed to walk on this journey with you.
Hello. Tungche Columbia Heights ke tungche kikap mandala ani ningtapani tuche shueda amorangi kalop ki ninde zo de misegi tri Lugurangshin Dembi ki Lopatasun ki Zego Drilia ani Kaju Chumba de PMCP Capucho ani Lakpado Ngazogi ani Tunke Nanglolia ani Dindi ki ani CG Dembi ki Loma Yoba de Ngazo Tunki ki ani CG da Popa Ins ani Maumba Imbaina ani Rinpoche Chogi ani Talopjon da Tuki Gomba Kari Yopana Dege de Lamno Yomba da Lakpado ani Mize Nanglolia, Digi Dembada, Ani Zewada Chamse, Ani Dindi Tolia, Ani Maumba Chale Nang Tupigi, Ani Menduyus, Ani Laya Tuchi Shui.
We would like to thank Mayor Mandala for the amazing speech, talking about Rinpoche's past and everything. And yeah, thank you very much.
Tuchena. Ani Dijulia, Tatri, Missy Namking Anzo. Lobata swingi zego kalia sungshe sharayo mare ane maanchawa shena tapne chagiyore tiri rimbuchingi lobata swingia ngazo mise cheche ane kalo sungshe dindi mangbu khoti shushay ina chochi ne number zotes nyomna yongsigire ro ane denma ane kalo sungshe khashi jiyoro ina di ngelia ngazo number solia tu kebo yechedo ane shena chik simpu shuen ani shamliya nganzo tapten bakha chini yiga da kande pendo da zumgi chebe ji yani misegi disangi chalia phe nalolia hajangi ani tapkya chimbo roshimbi gi koto gensha shebaje namsolia bilam shure namsogi ko namsolia cha chu chest tamne dinje ganglia dindi shuruna tushena.
Okay, to keep the event a little more livelihood and just keep it going and more fun, we're going to add some performances in between the speeches. So we have today Yiga, Tepe, Galden, Zomgi, and Pendok dancing Genja, which is a Tibetan circle dance.
Honorable Mayor, distinguished guests, members of the Buddhist Sangha, teachers and friends. Before I continue here, please allow me to say a few words in Tibetan. Nganzo tarinte Taksham tugu chalutoje Rinpoche chogi ta graduations jeje sungi yorwa te tholi nganzo de zom de yore an thanda Rinpoche ki ta chidang ki mize lokyu de zo nganzo de Minnesota shungi mangche ki cancer he and de thare abong Rinpoche ki thaji khondu shipshin geva sungdi zambalya nge adigalia mixe thowas ke shuas ke mendo imbene ta Rinpoche tawina Arilia Kiche Salum Chungegita Pepe Petuch Chategore Antine Chiklama Munzi Chumbre Sonza Tindegi Nedangi Tolia Tende Kurangi Mizen Nanglia Donlen Chigo and Nedangde Tende Mamboyung Chung Yores Cheje Tingi Himenedi Kanda Donlen Cheje Kanda Taringi Tuze Delia Taringi Nemo Delia 아니 코란 다 롭중 땡뒤기 다 인지 롭된 마트 다가나 신념돌이야 아니 코란기 다직 두구지기 배차네 양세지기 배차네 라마지기 배차네 아니 벼바다 벼게 힘바 벼바 힘바다 아니 벼게 정에 된소 항상에게 야본 낭샤 와든소 톨리아 오늘 림부체 코란리아 제수이라 예스제 슈에다 안 락와도디 용예디 안 코란 속에 코란기 파마조레 코란기 파마조기 코란리아 겹교는 나의 퉁게자의 셈슈파의 만나오르치나디 용예 하고 싶다레스 제제 텐데기 손단 다른 그것도 주의체 코란조 파마조리아 믹스기 아니 제수이나 예스제 슈에이 아니 리모체 타타네 the graduation sa sabe jelia ta nge khote lia khram pha kya galia pheres je tinde ji khote chonso sonsan thari mingse nyamdo lia khalsu gra farewell soro chige cha de gi doa sonsan rimuche ani kya ga phegi re ani ji club jong ta muthune yabon dangi re nga zo tende nga zo yiji ye ani minnesota tende khara ji khalsar dosa vishiolia thingi re se thingi ne namshi di semde manano na se je shu yi pha kya ga namshi yak ta je yore 아니 딩상 포게 갸갈리아 카리스그레 강지 톤에 튕게도 야부시라도 소자 디셈데 만나로나 롭중 야분 무트는 낭체 아니 마홍방가란소 페덴 톨리아 페바이무디 한 남양 제기요 말에서 텐데기 손자 소소 지글라만지 임베차네 디기엔치체 딩염동염돌이야 페바이무기 기엔치 키체 아니 무트네 도가 디케침버레 에스제 슈야이 독스체 so we are gathered here today for the graduation of a really remarkable and a fascinating person, or rather a Tibetan Lama, whose journey has really is quite remarkable. He was born in the United States, and at a very young age, he was recognized as a Tibetan Lama, which in itself is very, very challenging, because as a monk, now he has to fulfill certain duties. He has to learn the scriptures. He has to learn Tibetan. And at the same time, being a student here in the United States, he has to go through this education system as well. So I bet it was really, really challenging, and it's really remarkable to see the person he has grown to be today. Not only has he been able to do really well in his school, but he's also managed to do really well in his monastic studies as well. So great job, Rinpoche. And at the same time, as I read a couple of interviews that Rinpoche has given in the past few months, Rinpoche is very fond of the American football, and he's also very fond of swimming, and he also likes to play the flute. So it's quite unique that, and now he's also a monk. So adding to that, I think what I'm trying to say here is he's a human being at the end of the day. So as being a human being, he will also have certain, things that he wants to do, but also being a Buddhist monk, he'll also have certain responsibilities. And one of the responsibilities is being a Tibetan. And his story actually is one that tells the story of the Tibetan people. For over 60 years, we've been in exile. And his story is a story that reflects Tibetan spirit, Tibetan resilience, and Tibetan's journey. So I think it's really, really remarkable what he's gone through and what he's become. And I wish him well as he continues this journey of a Tibetan monk, as he goes to India now and he completes his studies. And he said, one of his interviews, he says that he wants to be a leader of peace. Leader of peace. And which is really what we need in these times, these days, not only in the Tibetan community, not only in the Tibetan struggle, but around the world. And so I really hope your dreams come true and you become a leader of peace for all of us, striving for peace, justice, and harmony. Thank you.
공주도 졸이야 두치 쉐이 아니 디젤이야 간조 미니소타 First Lady Van Voltki 아니 투구기 로바타스연 리아 아니 제비기 순디직 예 딩이 아니 투구기 인지기 기게 케 토마스 리아 잘로 나로나 지니 비구슈에 두치.
Thank you so much for the speech. Now we have a speech from Lady Gwen Walls, and today the teacher, Kate Thompson, will be reading it off for him.
Rinpoche, congratulations. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you and your family. Tashi has given me the honor of asking me to read the auspicious wishes from Gwen Waltz, who is the First Lady of Minnesota. She is the wife of our governor. To His Eminence, the 8th Taksham Tukur Rinpoche, members of the Tibetan Buddhist community, and honored guests. Please accept my warmest congratulations on the graduation of His Eminence Taksham Tukur Rinpoche, and well wishes as His Eminence begins his sacred journey to India. Unfortunately, I'm unable to celebrate with you all in person, but know that I share your joy and reverence on this momentous occasion. His Eminence's journey is one of exceptional commitment. As the first Tibetan Buddhist reincarnation, born in Minnesota, he has carried the responsibilities of spiritual leadership with grace and humility. It is an incredible accomplishment to have balanced the sacred demands of traditional Buddhist studies with high school academics. To all those gathered in celebration today, thank you for honoring and uplifting His Eminence's journey. Your presence reflects the vibrant living tradition of Tibetan Buddhism in Minnesota and the strength of our shared commitment to compassion, wisdom, and cultural preservation. Thank you for inviting me to celebrate this special occasion and advocating for the Tibetan and American Buddhist communities. I sincerely congratulate Taksham Tulku Rinpoche as he enters this new stage of life and wish His Eminence an enriching journey. Sincerely, Gwen Waltz, First Lady of Minnesota.
Rinpoche inji gigi Kate Thomas Leah and Tuche Shueda, Mise Kogobdi Guni, First Lady of Minnesota, Wind Waltz, and Rinpoche, and Lobatab Swing Kablia, Sundi, Zenon Zebalaya, and Tuche Shui. Ani daya shamya namso chikchanates nyobese yangyong anzo ani shenachi kodishuye ani chapte nangkende putawada pumo lamoni ani kyardo namsolia ani korshe chobuchi imbulam shugeyembe namalenge so tu gebo ngoni sinsi yomashe tushana.
We would like to thank the teacher, Miss Kate Thomas, and also the First Lady, Gwen Walls, for the amazing speech. Now we'll have another performance by Lhamo Doma and Dawa Tsedeng.
Tashdile. Respected Rinpoches, Gundupas, respected monks, honored guests, mayor, political leaders, Rinpoche's friends from the school, community members. I've been asked by the family to say something in terms of a closure. But before I do that, I'd like to take this moment again to pay homage and respect to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet for his long life as we celebrate his 90th birthday across the world, for a life that has been left a mark in this world. And may he continue to change the trajectory of where we are as a planet and where we are as a human being. So with that, I'd like to welcome all of you and thank you all for spending your day in what feels like 2,000 degrees outside. And thank you for being here, actually. But we are here to celebrate Tenzin Gyume Tilde Dorje, recognized as the 8th Trachin Taksam Rinpoche, and to many of us as Jelu Rinpoche. there's a lot being said about Rinpoche that I don't want to repeat, so I'll keep it short. But I do want to emphasize that Rinpoche is the first Tibetan Buddhist reincarnation, not only born in Minnesota, but the first Tibetan born on American soil. So it's the first Tibetan reincarnation. Extremely important to recognize that, because as a reincarnated Rinpoche carrying the weight of centuries, Jalur Rinpoche's life has never been only or just about ancient traditions. It has been as much as you've heard from people about football, about basketball, high school exams, Minnesota winter, late night study sessions, hip hop music, little baby. Because, and Rinpoche, someone told me to tell you that the drip is too hard. So that is Rinpoche, waking up early in the morning to chant prayers, memorize scriptures, meditate, study Tibetan language, history, science, before heading off to class or lining up as the right back in his football team. To the outside community, this might seem conflicting, but to us Tibetans, it makes perfect sense. It is the most genuine version of who he is. And that genuinely has changed how we understand Tibetan identity in exile, how Buddhism is taught in the West, and how we hold on as Tibetans to our heritage while building a new future as refugees on foreign soil. He didn't have to choose between honoring his heritage and living as a teenager in the United States, but he embraced both. In doing so, he has taught all of us, our elders, our youth, our American neighbors, and global Buddhists, that life can be a beautiful balance. And that is what makes Jalur Rinpoche very, not just special, but deeply human. As our Chitu Tenzin Jigmila just earlier said, it couldn't be more human and more real than this. But as a Tibetan, and as we go through this process, it is without that I have to recognize and lift up that today, Tibet is facing not only an identity crisis, but with the Chinese state renaming Tibet as Xizang, banning reincarnation without state approval, placing children in colonial boarding schools to remove their spiritual and cultural heritage. Many Rinpoches, like Jalur Rinpoche, stand as a profound act of defiance. Their reincarnation, recognition, and upbringing, and education outside of Chinese control is a declaration of Tibet's ancient tradition, and to prove that no matter what these authoritarian governments will do, Tibetan culture and tradition will remain no matter where. Because Tibetan, like we believe, we don't have borders. Religion doesn't have borders. Religion doesn't have countries. Rinpoche, with his lineage, has been protecting and moving it beyond borders. We have heard, and many of you in this room have probably seen a story of God, where Hollywood actor Rinpoche talked about it. Morgan Freeman, I actually had an opportunity to sit in there. So I never in my wildest dream thought that I would be spending a day with Morgan Freeman in Columbia Heights. But Morgan Freeman, when I was talking to him, the one thing that he said that stays in my mind is, I have never seen a young man who can speak of reincarnation and his homework with the same level of confidence. Rinpoche's life and his stories have been frequently featured in various global and local newspapers and media. Over the years, I mean, we've already heard about the various proclamations for Rinpoche and his teachings, where he has moved across the country, across the world, trying to understand better
on the empowerment and the blessings of the Tibetan masters. As I give this vote of thanks, I would like to first lift his parents, Diche Ongula and Dozi Chekela. Please give them a round of applause. His parents have been his strength and devotion, which cannot be expressed by words. Dichenla and Dojila, you nurtured the boy and respected the Rinpoche. You gave him space to explore and you disciplined him to grow. You both did what many of us cannot. You held the sacred and the ordinary in the same hand. To his teachers and coaches who are here today, you looked beyond the robes and saw the young man within. You all guided him with care, challenged him with high standards, and offered him mentorship which every child deserves. To our Tibetan elders in our community, many of whom have walked across mountains into exile and living in a foreign country today, you see Jalu Rinpoche, and I hope it not just gives you hope, but fulfillment. In him is your language. In him is your prayer, your culture, your faith, which has not only survived, but flourished. To the Tibetan youth, born or living in exile, your struggle is real, and so is your strength. You will never be less Tibetan because you do not speak Tibetan fluently or you fully do not understand the Tibetan culture and heritage. The world may try to make you choose, but you were born to hold both your roots and your wings. Let the example of Jalu Rinpoche remind you that you don't have to pick between tradition and ambition, between who you are and where you live. This isn't about identity, it's about responsibility. As Tibetans, we don't just inherit the struggle, but we have to rise to defend and advance it. Finally, as Rinpoche prepares to begin his full-time study for 5 years in Mindoling Monastery in Clementown, a role that he has long prepared. This journey to India is more than a personal spiritual pursuit. It is a global moment of reconnection. For the world, this is a reminder that faith, identity, and wisdom can flow freely across continents and borders. So this afternoon or this evening, we don't just say goodbye to Rinpoche. We say, travel well, study deeply, live joyfully. Tashidile Rinpoche, we thank you, we appreciate you, you make us proud. And most importantly, we will wait for your return someday soon. Tojiche.
Hello. Alia, ni tabani tuche shui. Misigi ni gemba tolia shugo marimba na tri Rinpoche ki lobatab swingi zegolia ani pudu shemba mangoji pesha lakbado anzo ingi mankinge inji koranzo ani lobtu bugu haja mango pesha ro namgyung anzo graduation la dindi zamgi yomare tri haja mango pesha gime ojingi sungshe nalolia Rinpoche ki kuze logyu da ngaranzo pebi ki chuda rishon khazis kechimbo yimbata lakbado pyeju nangdengi tukulamlu tholia ngazo phegi ani gyarab logyu nalolia khande se keche yime dige tholia hajange sungshe sabo khodebo 아니 튀어다체 딘데 나우솔이야 디게 땡이 미세기 카르사 디게데 두지 딘데 갑돌이야 하장기 개침보를 했삼거도 락바도 지미오게라도 임바이마나 안조 베비 나울로리아 오니긴 잠리 게지강리아 베기 사드 탑즈 리슈 감시데 빠와 침부터니라 고다 팅이시부터니야 딘디긴 데제 나우토바데 만조기 시지레 삼거도라 민투니 아니 지미오게라 딘데 나로치 만조 단다이나 미 딘디 망보 만조 딘디기 슌지 망보 고레 마도 만조 까브레리아 나란조 남고 감슈 충주나 주체 대바이나 만조 니 남여 세게 말해라 만조 감슈 충주디니 출로 되는지 아니 게지강리야 만조 베드행기 탑즈 베드 베기 리슈 베기 오데 칸디스 베게다 아니 대시 겨고메 던조톨이야 간조기 나라조 베비지주 나올로리야 게키에데 하장기 개침보레도 삼기도 단다 지미오게기 송셰남비캅리아 수수라니 임바이나 초와슈 셴보 총수 깨르도 투지치에 쉐체 아니 디졸리야 간조 르무체리아 자시 제다 마드에 콜리아 간조 군데 디게도 군데 디게 렌도 아니 르무체 렌도 쿠바데디 아니 단다 rumbuchingi yabyung da ani kunde number so thangbo kamne kunde number da an delia duni shube inji kunde number ani tanda kungochi du da chisu jimuge ani chopakagi tanda chojo da kujo number ya pero na ngajo rumbuchen lendo kuba de ndi tushe.
Thank you, Jingmi Ugenla, for the amazing speech and everything you have done for this community. Sorry. Now we'll have Rinpoche's mom and dad and family members, and also the amazing people who have helped him become who he is today. Please come to the front, and we'll do a scarf ceremony, and then after that, we'll take a picture with everyone. Thank you.
Sorry,
we'll do a picture first. So if you guys don't mind just coming up to take a picture.